The Nationals are on their first three-game win streak of 2025, and MacKenzie Gore shoved against those Los Angeles Dodgers. But I'm going to tell you this, though. Ted Leonsis has spoken on the Washington Nationals. We've got some answers.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first and every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And of course, I'm your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcast, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, and of course, the video version over on YouTube that you can catch over at Locked On Nationals. Later on in today's program, Brad Lord makes his starting debut tonight for your Washington Nationals. And let me just tell you this, I'm excited for it. Last time the Nationals had a starting pitcher make their starting debut against the LA Dodgers, went pretty well. I'll tell you who that is later on in today's program. But in the second segment, Ted Leonsis, the owner of Monumental Sports, the owner of the Capitals and the Washington Wizards, he spoke on his interests with the Washington Nationals. I think we got to get into this. Is this now becoming a real possibility for the millionth time? I think we got to discuss that and hear what I have to say, and also the future of Nationals TV rights. He spoke on that as well. I'll give you those quotes a little bit later on in today's program, but we start off discussing last night's win for the Washington Nationals. They got a much-needed victory as they have made it 3 games in a row against the NL West. But before that, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. And right now, new FanDuel customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That is FanDuel.com. So we get started with today's program, really kind of discussing just last night's win. Last night's win was just one of those complete games from the Washington Nationals where, let's be honest, like in these rebuilding times, you don't really get it all too often. But on yesterday's show, we made a big deal about MacKenzie Gore going up against Dustin May, in which I thought would be a really good pitcher's duel, and that's exactly what we got. Dustin May went 6 innings pitched, only 1 earned run, 3 runs in total, though, and he has improved his ERA to a 0.82. And MacKenzie Gore, on the other hand, he's told the show yet again for your Washington Nationals. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, only 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and those 2 earned runs came from a Shohei Ohtani home run to right center field there. And listen, Shohei Ohtani, he's going to get you. He is the best player in baseball. Having MacKenzie Gore give up that home run, it might as well be an honor for him. Because Shohei Ohtani, he's going to hit home runs against the best of the best, and that is what he does. So overall, MacKenzie Gore looked awesome against that loaded Dodgers lineup. And if you're really just going out there, and if you have the mindset, the way that I do with this Nationals team at this point, you have to feel great about where this team is. You do. I feel really good about the Washington Nationals right now. And maybe not for this season, but as far as their young talent goes, I feel really good. In having them play against teams like the Dodgers, who you may not expect all too much going up against them, but when they compete the way that they did yesterday, have that game go into the bottom of the 9th inning with your biting your nails and seeing Kyle Finnegan shut the door on Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani, you just have to feel good about where they are today. One thing that I took away from yesterday's ball game, we've talked about this a lot. What is the one main issue with the Nats offense so far? They don't really put the ball in play, but more importantly, on a deeper level, they strike out too much. Yesterday, going up against really good pitchers against the Dodgers, the Nationals struck out 1 time, and that was Jose Tena. This team yesterday put together their perfect game where they had 9 hits. They scored 6 runs yesterday. While the Dodgers kind of helped them out with a couple of errors and one big one by Mookie Betts that allowed Dylan Cruz to get an RBI single, at least for what we thought at that point. By the way, that has since been changed to an error by Mookie Betts, and it was a fielder's choice. So, therefore, he does not get a hit, and the RBI does not count for Dylan Cruz. So, his batting average is still sub 100, and he's got a 215 OPS on the season for Dylan Cruz. But if you were to look at the good things from yesterday, because we're not going to pound on like these small little issues by the Washington Nationals. We already mentioned MacKenzie Gore, and even then there's a little bit more to get into with him. But James Wood, his second home run of the season on a 45-degree night, going into left center field in the red porch seats. I forgot how far that went, but still, seeing that power going the other way on a cold night against a left-handed pitcher, by the way, Anthony Banda, former Washington National, someone who is DFA'd by the Nats and went with the Dodgers this past season and looked really good with them. Now this year, also looking pretty good. But you got butchered by James Wood. Welcome to the club. Seeing what the Nationals did yesterday, though, it just feels good. Because again, you cannot tell me that with yesterday and what you all saw, James Wood being the leadoff spot, I thought that was a great move by David Martinez. Seeing what he did, drawing a walk, having that 2-run home run, giving your best hitter the most opportunities to be at the top of the lineup and get opportunities and simply hit the ball. Followed by Alex Cole, followed by Luis Garcia Jr., who had 2 hits, and he is now creeping up back to the numbers we expect him to have. Keibert Ruiz, another big hit and an RBI in there. Nathaniel Lowe, same goes for him. Josh Bell getting a hit in on the action. Paul DeYoung playing really good defensive third base and just really holding it down over at that hot corner. This Nationals team, they're fun to watch. Or, my bad, Paul DeYoung over at shortstop from yesterday's game. Still, because CJ Abrams, we all know what happened, had that little hip injury, I believe. Should be back in the lineup today. We'll see what David Martinez does with that moving forward here. But where this Nationals offense is compared to what we were talking about last week, only 1 strikeout against a good Dodgers lineup. That is something that you can take and you can kind of run with it a little bit here. Let's see what the Nationals do. Can they get hot? I think they can. And not just against a good team like the Dodgers. They're doing this against just great talent overall. And so I thought yesterday's win was really encouraging, but also probably the most encouraging part outside of James Wood hitting that 2-run home run, going the opposite way again. I cannot reiterate the power that this guy displays on the table right here for the Nationals. But MacKenzie Gore. Did you guys know that right now, MacKenzie Gore leads the National League in strikeouts with 25. And he also is tied for Major League Baseball's lead with 25 strikeouts. He is tied with the Seattle Mariners' Logan Gilbert, who is an absolute stud. MacKenzie Gore is having this season where you look at the numbers that he is putting up, not just against poor teams. He has gone up against 3 really good offenses so far. First and foremost, the Philadelphia Phillies on opening day. Struck out 13 batters. Toronto Blue Jays last week on Wednesday in Toronto on the road. Did just fine. Didn't even have his best stuff. Still got through and got a quality start. Last night against the Dodgers, he got by Shohei Ohtani, the best baseball player I have ever seen. A 2-run home run. And that was it. 6 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts. And again, something that I'll continue to monitor with him, only 1 walk. MacKenzie Gore, not only has he been commanding his stuff the way that he simply has not throughout his career, he is now averaging just 1 walk per start, compared to last year when he walked 65 batters in just over 166 innings in nearly about 32 starts. MacKenzie Gore is on pace to cut that in half this year. It's only 3 starts. I'm sure it'll inflate at points this season, but his command has been noticeably better. And just overall, the confidence that he displays, The confidence I think Davey Martinez has shown him that he believes in MacKenzie Gore and that the Nationals, you don't need to just sit there and wonder, well, what the hell is going to happen here? Are the Nationals going to bring in their bullpen and blow it? No, that's not really the case. Although I will say, I would have been lying if I said as soon as I saw Lucas Sims coming out of the bullpen yesterday, I kind of wondered there a little bit and said, oh boy, here we go. And we all know what happened. Only a third of innings pitch, 2 earned runs. He had a walk, 2 hits there, not good. Then Kyle Finnegan came in for a 2-inning save for the third straight day in a row that he's been used. And 1 2/3 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk to really solidify what has been a solid start for Kyle Finnegan's season, getting his 4th save on the year. And again, another impressive performance by you-know-who, Eduardo Salazar, who continues to pitch really well for this Nationals team. And to be honest, has come out of nowhere, in my opinion, and has played really valuable innings so far in the early portions of this season. So another good win by the Washington Nationals. That is 3 in a row. They improved to 4-6. They are 4th in the NL East on the season. Let's talk about this. I love it talking about this Nationals ownership. And Ted Leonsis, in one of the most bizarre cases ever, has not shied away from his interest. And he continues to put it out there that he is interested in the Washington Nationals. But are the learners interested in Ted Leonsis owning the Washington Nationals? I think that's a bigger discussion. And also, where will the TV rights lie in 2026? I thought we had the answer going into this season once we figured out that Masson was no more with the Washington Nationals after this year. I think Ted Leonsis begs to differ. We'll discuss that after we tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. And of course, the NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. And right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. And I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props, like, for instance, the Wizards. I love Jordan Poole. It is a pool party here in DC as he has been on fire. I've got the over on points for him this week. And I've also got some 3-point props for our guy Bilal Coulibaly when he comes back, and also Corey Kispert. You can bet on your favorite Wizards with our friends over at FanDuel. And don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Again, head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, you can check us out over on YouTube. Again, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, including over on YouTube, as we said. But before we jump into more baseball talk, we got to talk about this ownership, because Ted Leonsis was on with Grant and Danny over on 106.7 The Fan yesterday. For those who are not aware, let's just kind of open up the curtains real quick for you. Ted Leonsis has always been rumored and has publicly stated as many times as he could that he would like to buy the Washington Nationals. About last week, there was an article that came out. I believe it was some speech that he was giving, or some seminar, something like that. And Ted Leonsis was asked about his interest in having Monumental Sports partner with the Washington Nationals, and he kind of gave this is a paraphrase answer here by me, but he actually stated that he would have no interest in them joining Monumental Sports unless he owns the team. So that kind of opened up a can of worms. And when he was on with Grant and Danny on The Fan yesterday, of course, they asked him about his interest in buying the Nationals from the Learners, and this is what he had to say. Quote, "I am forever interested, but the season started, and that should be a signal that when the season starts, the Lerner family is very committed and the team's really not for sale. I'm going to be here. We'll keep the lights on. There's nothing active going on. I'm interested, but it doesn't seem right now that they're that interested, and I totally understand why." He went on to say how the Nationals have a young, exciting team, and that he believes that the Lerners are in on this team and that they are excited to own this team. But right now, with where the Nationals are, I know a lot of fans are up in arms about this Lerner ownership group. And I think that's fair. Like, people who are saying, well, they used to spend all the time, and they did. They absolutely did. But we're living in the right now. Mike Rizzo, Davey Martinez, they have said it all offseason long. The time to win is now. It's no longer a rebuild. They are ready to win. And I think that makes sense. But also, you need to not only have a good farm system and do your job within the organization, you also have to spend a little bit of money and get some free agents in the building, the way that the Nationals did when they brought a World Series back home in 2019. I think that it is hard to believe that the Lerner family is 100% all in. And the reason why I say the Lerner family and not just like Mark Lerner, who is the principal owner at this point, is because of my understanding, from what it sounds like, is that the Nationals, while yes, they are owned by the whole family here, Mark Lerner is just the one who just kind of sits at the top and represents them. He is not the one who is saying, we should probably cut on this. I'm not saying he's the one who's not doing that, but from what I understand, it is a whole family decision. And there is a group there that you're going to have to pass in some capacity a budget. I think from the outside looking in, there's probably some like infighting of where they are and where they should be. I think the Nationals, where they stand today, they're in a better position than what they were in a few years ago. I think we can all agree on that. You've got James Wood. You've got a lot of young talent. You still have Mike Rizzo, who in my opinion is still a top executive in this game. And you've got the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. You're in a good position to win. But I also say this. When a few years ago, when the Lerners announced that they would explore a sale of the team, I think we all kind of thought in that moment, like, well, they're going to sell the team. Of course they are. Why would you announce that you are going to explore a sale of this team and then ultimately not sell it? It seemed as if the Nationals were going to sell at that moment in time. Then last spring training came along. Andrew Golden of the Washington Post reported that the Nationals will no longer be selling, and they have taken the team off the market, and they are going to continue to own this team. Well, in my opinion, it just kind of brought up this scenario here. You can't say that you are all in on your spouse if you consider the other girl in the middle of the relationship here. It's hard for me to believe that the Lerners are 100% all in on the Nationals, even considering at points of selling this team. I think it shows that there is some disconnect between the ownership group of what they want. And I think that just kind of made it a little bit more public. And it also kind of got the fire burning of people wanting them to sell the team. Because you kind of dangled that carrot in front of the fan base here. That like, hey, we might be selling this team. And let's be honest, we all thought they were going to sell the team. It just made sense at that moment. But now you get this. With Masson that is all figured out now, the Lerners seem to be all in at this point. And as of right now, the Nationals, they've got no TV deal for 2026 and beyond. Where do they sit right now? Where do they go? Well, Ted Leonsis, as we mentioned earlier on in this segment, he has basically said that he has no interest in the Nationals as far as he is not the owner. And the interesting part is, according to the Lerner website, they are minority owners in Monumental Sports. Now, what does that mean? Because Monumental Sports is like, it's a weird kind of ownership thing. Monumental Sports owns like the Washington Mystics, the Wizards, the Capitals, and I believe Monumental Sports Network. So I would think that the Lerners have a share in Monumental Sports Network. That's why it was easy to connect those dots and say, well, they'll end up there. But it sounds like Ted Leonsis does not have any interest in them joining Monumental Sports. And he also mentioned yesterday with Grant and Danny kind of like the new collective bargaining agreement and things that will happen with RSNs in the future. Like, it's interesting. This is going to be a dilemma to watch, not only on the ownership level, but on the TV rights level. because not many people think they're going to be getting a much better deal than what MASN had to offer. Now, in the long run, in 10 years from now, they'll definitely be making more money off of than their contract with MASN. But it's not just as easy as connecting this dot that like, oh, they're going to go to Monumental. Ted Leonsis seems to really have no interest in it at this point. And he can do that. That's fine. But I think with where Nationals fans are today, who knows what the future holds for this point? You could tell me a year from now that like, hey, they could be on MASN again. And I'd be stunned about it. But I really wouldn't be. Because if it's not going to be on Monumental and they want to be on cable, let's just say they want to be, then where do you go from there? I don't think a local news station is going to pick them up and broadcast them. I don't think the Nationals will create their own channel. I think it's Monumental Sports going back to MASN, or you create your own channel, or even then, probably the more likely option at this point is you're going to be on MLB.com and you're going to be streaming your games for the next few seasons until they figure out something with the RSN. That's kind of where they are today. It's confusing. It's tricky. But welcome to Washington Nationals baseball. It's never easy. So welcome. Take a seat. We'll be here every single day for you. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And Brad Lord is making a much anticipated starting debut. And again, against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Big deal. We'll discuss that after we tell you about our friends over at Just Ingredients. And when it comes to fueling your body, quality matters. And that's why Just Ingredients is changing the game with clean, high-quality products designed to better support better health and peak performance. Just Ingredients offers an NSF-certified line of protein powder, electrolytes, and pre-workout and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure they're free from substances banned by major athletic organizations. Just Ingredients is also partnered with two-time MVP Bryce Harper, who trusts their NSF-certified sports line to fuel his training and recovery. And as of recently, I just started pre-workout because I work out every single day. It's part of my routine. I love doing it. And I will say, some days I feel a little sluggish and I'm not ready to do it. I have tried the pre-workout from Just Ingredients, their strawberry limeade flavor. And I can tell you this, it tastes great. But number two, it gets me ready for my workout. It is a clean product that makes me feel good. It does not make my heart race like those other substances that you can see from all sorts of brands across the market. But this one, again, it is NSF certified, and Bryce Harper uses it himself. Professional athletes continue to endorse this. And just like I do, you can use the pre-workout that makes you feel better. And also finish it with the tasty chocolate protein shake that I've been using myself. I just put it in some almond milk. I shake it up, and I've got a good sweet treat that is great for you and even better for your body. So visit justingredients.us and use code LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. And for more wellness tips, follow at just.ingredients on Instagram. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. So as we get into it, Brad Lord, have a debut, my friend. For the Washington Nationals, this is a relatively big deal. Seeing Brad Lord make his starting pitching debut, I think is pretty big. I'm excited for this. We have seen him 3 times so far this season. He's looked okay. His first start, or his first relief appearance against the Phillies this year, was brutal. But with the injury of Michael Soroka, and who knows what his future is, you got to be excited about where the Nationals are. And more specifically, where we are with Brad Lord. In 2022, he was an 18th round pick out of USF, South Florida. Solid baseball school, but nothing great. And if you look at the numbers, each of the past 2 seasons, he has just gotten better and better. In 2024, that's when he peaked. In 25 starts across high A, double A, and as well as triple A. And again, 25 starts, had 129, basically 130 innings pitched, had a 2.43 ERA. He just did not really walk all too many guys, 49 walks into those 130 innings, but still 135 strikeouts, had a 1-2 whip on the year, and really put himself on the map and entering the top 30 for Nationals prospects. And this is now one of those guys where I am officially excited. Let's take away the fact that he is not a top 10 prospect on this team, but take away the 18th round pick from him, and he puts up those numbers. You would be excited. And this guy has a really good slider as well, who I've seen, and I've seen it in person. I think it plays really well. He's also got a changeup. Those 3 pitches, which are relatively quality pitches, and some command issues at times, but still, he has kept it under check. And when he does keep it under check, he has really good results to show for it. So now with where the Nationals are, seeing him make his debut tonight against the Dodgers, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a test. But as we mentioned earlier on, do you guys remember last year? Which National starting pitcher who has been phenomenal over the last year made his debut against the Dodgers? And you know what? We all kind of thinking there, well, you're going up against the Dodgers for your debut. Good luck. That was Mitchell Parker. He went 5 innings pitch and gave up 2 earned runs at Dodger Stadium on Jackie Robinson Day, a day for the Dodgers. That was a stud performance. This time we're at Nationals Park going up against those Dodgers teams, and in my opinion, probably a better version without Freddie Freeman, unfortunately, for now. But still, Brad Lord, have yourself a day. This is your opportunity to run with it. You're not going to be getting all that many starting possibilities at this point. Take it and run with it. And I think a lot of people are excited for what Brad Lord has to bring within the organization. So it's going to be a cool day. See Brad Lord go up against a very good Dodgers lineup. I can't wait to watch tonight. That is a 6:45 first pitch. And I will say this, it's going to be cold. Bring your jackets. So you guys can catch that out over on Masson. I'll talk to you after the game in my YouTube short. Make sure to tune in for that as we give you a quick little debrief on the Washington Nationals. And maybe, just maybe, Brad Lord breaks out tonight, because my prediction for tonight, 4 2/3 innings pitch, 3 earned runs, and the Nationals win thanks to the bullpen. I'll talk about it on tomorrow's show on Locked On Nationals that you can check out wherever you get your podcasts. I'll catch you on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats.